On this week's episode of Did Y'all See, we're talking about Lena Dunham's tone-deaf comment, a man who always wants to go Dutch, and Kanye West's multiracial casting call. Get into all this tea on Did Y'all See. Hello and welcome to another episode of Did Y'all See? Now we noticed that you guys liked the attention last week, so Brandy has a few more loyal followers she would like to shout out.
Yes. Shout out. Right, and I got my cards because we forgot a couple of people last week, so sorry to Crystal Williams, A1 Day One, yes. We love you. And Bunny Michelle, don't be in your feelings. God's Child 60071. Ebony Simmons, Fatima Dorsland, and Sarah Jane. Thank you for tuning in always.
Yeah. Now listen, if you're a really real serious Did Y'all See fan, we have a task for you all. We're trying to reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of this month, September, but we believe we can do it with you guys' support. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and do that ASAP. And then be sure to share the videos with your friends, your relatives, people you do like, people you don't like. Just send the word out. So did y'all see Lena Dunham put her foot in her mouth again this week? Now this is so weird because she was interviewing Amy Schumer. It's a story about Amy Schumer. Yet Lena felt like, it was a good time to tell a story. And she talked about being at the Met Gala and sitting across from Odell Beckham Jr., a football player. And she was like, I could see him look at me and determine that I just wasn't, basically that he didn't want to have sex with her. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh, she's wearing a tuxedo. Can I F it? No. Yeah. Let me just look back at my phone. And so basically, she was insinuating that because she doesn't fit a certain type of mold that he wasn't interested in her sexually. What do you guys think about the story?
I saw your eyes crinkling up already.
I'm really tired of Lena thinking that everybody wants to fuck her. It's like, white men want me, black men, Asian men, Latino men. Right. It's like, nobody wants you, B. Stop it. It's really a self-entitlement thing, and then she's white. It's just... And then she likes to throw in this feminism thing because someone wasn't checking for her. And no, she got a man. Yes. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Exactly. And that's the thing. She's so... No judgment. I'm not slut shaming. But she, she just always want everybody to be in a shapoom-poom. And it's just... Stop it.
Yeah, I'm not with it. If Odell had pushed up on her, we'd be having a totally different discussion. And so it's like somehow this black man minds his business, doesn't fit the stereotypes that we have, that are out there, and you're still the victim? Like now you're the unattractive, weird-ass white girl in the corner. It's like, like I said.
And own it.
And that's what I was just about to say. You wore that tuxedo.
That's right.
Own it. Walk in it.
That's right.
Be what you are. But it very much is entitlement. And that's what happens when you put white women on this pedestal as being the most beautiful and sought after and attractive by all men, including black men. Of course, she's going to think every time she step out the house, she's going to get some kind of attention and whatnot. Even talking about pushing up on Michael B. Jordan and all that. And I think it was very irresponsible even to be naming people because it was about her own insecurity. So it probably didn't matter what man was there. But particularly because it was a black man, she thought, oh, black men always trying to get up on.
You can get accused of anything now.
Right.
Like, just be a black man in the wrong place. Even at the Met Gala. You're like, oh.
Exactly.
Well, he disrespected me because he wasn't on me. It's it's really sad, and it just plays into her insecurities. And like I said, I've talked to therapists before who said people like to use their own insecurities as a way to put other people on blast. Because somebody's not checking for you, your first insight is they think something is wrong with me. They disrespected me. They mistreated me. And it's like, no, ain't nobody thinking about you.
Exactly. She just really doesn't it's like you don't really believe what you claim to believe. And that's what's the shadiest thing about it. Yes. So, she offered an apology and she said she was wrong because she doesn't know him and she didn't realize, she's putting this image about black men's sexuality in the forefront. But to me, it's just like, I hear the apology and I do believe she's probably really remorseful, but I'm just like, you've been messing up too much. And it's like, you really need to take a step. Every time you think to say something to be funny, just take a step back. Like, hold up. Like, wait a minute. 1 second. Yes. Am I centering myself in a situation where I don't need to be the center or the focal? Yes. Just turn it down a minute. So, did y'all see Kanye put his foot or his finger in his mouth again? Because he was tweeting a bit recklessly. He had a casting call for Yeezy Season 4. And it explicitly said that multiracial models need only apply. So what do you guys think about his decision to put it out there this way so bluntly? Is it a colorism issue? Is it a...
No, I honestly just didn't care. Like, I stopped letting Kanye upset me like 808s and Heartbreaks, like so long ago that I just, sometimes I feel like he's trolling on purpose. And then I also just feel like he's a creative and we never know what is going on in his mind. I just want to wait and see the finished product and see what it's about. There's so many, assumptions like, he said multiracial just so a bunch of white girls didn't show up, or he said multiracial because he wants a bunch of light-skinned, racially ambiguous black women. Like, we just don't know.
I don't fully even 100% know what multiracial means. Like, I feel like that could be anything, and therefore I couldn't really get offended because I couldn't comprehend it. Plus, I mean, you know me with Kanye, I just feel like he could say a lot of random shit, and I would just be like, blind to it.
I feel like the behavior that Kanye has exhibited over the past 4 years, he's kind of like that boy on campus that only fuck with a certain type of girl. So you I really can't, I can't get invested.
Yes. I definitely saw it and was like, I don't know what this is about. But then I thought, maybe this is about North, and maybe he did want to see, to your point, maybe he did want his daughter to see people who looked like her with curly hair, whatever. Because I don't know what she's really watching, but she do be at his fashion shows. So, I mean, I don't really know what it's really about. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I really don't look to Kanye to be conscious or woke or open the doors for black women, because that's never going to happen. So, outside of Tiana Taylor in that video. So, did y'all see that this week's Is This Petty? We're talking about money. So, Victoria, go ahead and tell us what it's about.
Yeah, we're talking about actually people who don't want to spend their money. So the Is This Petty I wrote this week was just about a situation I read where a woman was saying she dated a guy for a while and he wanted them to go Dutch on everything. And so they went Dutch on everything. But the last straw was like, they went on a ski trip and they were in the car and he was like, do you have gas money? And she was like, oh, hell no, I just paid for everything. And she dumped him after that. But she just felt like, y'all don't mess with cheap men, because cheap men, being cheap is a character flaw. And basically a cheap man who's stingy with his money will also be stingy with his heart and his feelings and things of that nature. So what do you all think? Is being cheap like a sign of a character flaw? Is it a bigger issue, or is it just a cheap person needs to be with a cheap person? Like people who value money that much?
Yeah. A cheap person definitely got to be with a cheap person, because if you like to spend money, even not like recklessly, but if you're cheap, you're always like holding on to everything. Everything is an issue, with spending money. And I do feel like in some ways being cheap is like an extension of being selfish. And so,
which is a character flaw.
Which is a big character flaw. Yeah, and you can't be selfish in a relationship. I think both of you just have to be cheap and understand we just want to lay up in the house with each other all day and not spend no money.
So I'm conflicted about this one, because I feel like it would have been, I think it would have been a glaring problem if he was asking her to pay for everything, but I think the fact that they're splitting everything makes it seem like he's trying to go for equal more so than like being cheap. And I think there's a difference between being like cheap and frugal. Like, to me, I feel like it's good for someone to be frugal with someone who's a little bit more lavish, so you can be like, okay, yes, I know you want to go shopping, but we have to pay rent this month, so could you like turn it down? Like, and I actually think that's like, I think those are the best type of people who make things happen. But it also kind of makes me wonder, like, did she have a conversation with him, or did she agree to go Dutch on everything, and then she was like, okay, actually, I don't like it. And it might have illustrated like his level of interest. Like, he didn't feel like spending this money on her. But to me, I kind of like, I don't know. I just feel weird about it. It's like I can't say I disagree with it, because I do feel sorry for men having to pay for everything.
I just feel like I didn't really think it was a character flaw. I just feel like it could have been more natural. We don't even have to go Dutch. Like, we could pay like every other day or something, but it shouldn't be, like you said, money shouldn't be like an overarching part of our conversations and our whole relationship, where everything is about that. Like, at the root of everything we do, don't spend more than $20 a day. Like, so that was my only problem. But what do you guys think? Is being cheap a sign of a big character flaw, like selfishness? Or, should they, he just be with somebody who's equally as concerned about money? Is that even like a bad thing? So, let us know.
So, did y'all see that Adrienne Bailon was on Hollywood Today Live talking about her engagement to Israel Houghton, and she basically explained how she knew he was the one. And there were plenty of interesting little tidbits in the interview, so I'm just gonna throw it to Lauren, and Lauren will tell you how she felt about everything that Adrienne said.
Right. So I do consider marriages and engagements very, very sacred. So I'm just going to pose it as, just a general question. The questionable points in her interview, she said that they were friends for a number of years. Three years. And they would hang out together with people.
Maybe her fiance.
Right. And his wife. But at the same time, she said, when you know, and you're able to like bypass, things that you probably have overlooked when you were younger. But when she was younger, she was with Lenny. So I'm just very confused as to who she was dating. I mean, sometimes you just get together with somebody at a messy time. I mean, that's just, it just happens. And that's nothing to be ashamed about because, if not you, someone else, tomorrow, today, 20 minutes. So, I know from my own personal experiences, when I always try to like push a relationship to look a certain way, it just dies. I think it's very important to know when to just shut up. And I think Adrienne and Israel, it's awesome that they have found each other. Well, not found each other. They are now united in this love, this ordained love. But I just kind of feel like I don't really trust people who constantly have to push their relationship to look a certain way. So if you've been there, share why you did it. I know why I did it. Let us know in the comments if you've been there or if you just think this is just normal.
For this week's edition of Cold Tea, we're talking about Malia Obama's Made in America outfit. Now, what do you guys think about it? It says smoking kills. Now, the last time she was at a festival, she was caught with a little something. I don't know if it was herb, I don't know if it was a cigarette, whatever. But then she comes out with this shirt. Some people were saying it was a punishment from her parents. Or do you think it was like just a little joke, tongue-in-cheek, with the Harvard cap? What do you guys think?
She's trolling everybody. Like, I got into Harvard, and I'm doing this gap year, and I'm traveling, and I'm probably going to be smoking.
Right. Look, I'm about to be at the White House, so y'all ain't got to watch me every 2 seconds what I'm doing. So, carefree black girl.
Yeah, I love it. I just think she's like, let me live. Either way, I'm going to live it, and you're going to be where you at looking at me, and I'm going to be in Harvard. And I'm going to be smoking like my daddy was smoking. Right. And and look where he's at. So don't worry about what we doing.
Yeah. I just want her to be careful about who she's hanging out with because people's always quick with them phones.
Yeah.
She got to be real careful about who her friends are because they ain't really real. That's my thing. Let us know what you think about Malia Obama's Made in America outfit in the comment section below. So just one more thing before we let you guys go. As you guys know, I recently released a book a couple weeks ago, last month, called Better Days. And I'm having a book launch party for it on September 17th in New York City. So if you're in the area, we're going to include a link for you to RSVP to the party. It's going to be food there. It's going to be a little drinks there. It's going to be a goodie bag. And you get to see me, sign a book. You get a book with your ticket price. So if you're interested in coming, you can click the link in the description below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Did Y'all See? Remember, we're trying to reach our goal. We need 7,000 followers by the end of this month. So subscribe to this channel right now, right now. And that's it, right?
Share, like,
Tell a friend.
Okay.
Tell your cousin, everybody, neighbor.